jab, uppercut, leave you laid out on the floor. Try to duck and roll, hit and miss, now you counting stars. Should've practiced more, should've hit the mask, get out there more. Claim that you're the best. You gotta show me, son. Actions over words, baby boy. Is you real or what? Talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back sports.
What up, it's your boy Roy Jones Jr. and right now you tune into World Combat Sports.
Yo, once again, thanks for tuning in. You're listening to World Combat Sports, man. And we like just over 48 hours, right? Before we bring in 2022 in this humanistic simulation, this humanistic global simulation. Shout out to the WCS supporters, man. You know what it is. Appreciate you rocking with your boy. Shout out to the ones that's out there working hard, grinding, providing for their families and making it through this holiday season. Because I'm telling you, this virus stuff is just getting crazy right now. This is another episode of just open topics, man, because really I don't want to continue to talk about the same retreaded topics. But, you know, that's usually, you know, the curriculum when it comes around the holidays, y'all. You know, you just come up here and create storylines and over storylines. There's already been storylines, and you just add a little bit more to it. And that like it's a new storyline when it's the other storyline, and all the shit becomes basic recyclement of narratives. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to 2022, shawty, for real. Shout out to this dirty. You know what it is in the ATL, the ones that was raised in this 70s, the 80s. You know, ATL was a lot different back then. I just want to keep it a buck with you. But of course, it's an open topic. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, for the little duration I'm going to be on here, man, I'm going to drop the link. You know, I'm going to drop the link just so if anybody chooses to talk on any topics. I still haven't seen any protest thumbnails go up to pretty much, you know, advocate for the Haney Cambosis fight, a.k.a. Cambozo. You know what I'm saying? I haven't seen any of that go up yet, but it's okay. I'm not going to rehash that right now. It's not even worth it right now. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to let you ride out, to shift gears and in 2021 into 22, and we'll see what boxing has for all of us, really. You know what I'm saying? We'll see what it is. Michael Johnson Boxing talking more. What's good? In line at Culver's. What's good with you, bro? May all is well with you and the fam. So the situation's been talked about over and over again, man. Appreciate Michael Johnson Boxing talking more being the first on deck today, man. Salute to you. Pretty much you heard in the news about the Jake Paul situation. Paul and Woodley doing 65K. I can give a damn about that shit. If it did 65K and Tyron Woodley was paid $2 million, shit, it was worth his while to get knocked the fuck out. You know what I'm saying? 65K don't mean shit if the numbers is correct or incorrect. No matter what it is, you know, that's what happened when you sit up here and pull them strings with your audience and pretend like Tommy Fury is going to be your opponent all along, when the plan was to have Tyron Woodley swoop in on the back end and get this fight. He was going to be the opponent anyway. So therefore, the shit went the way it did. 65K, I don't give a damn. Moving on. I'm going to tell you right here, right now. Expect Terrence Crawford And you know how people always like to say, I'm the first to do it. I'm the first to do it. I'm gonna tell you right here, right? You can take it as you see fit. Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence potentially will be a purse bid. Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence Jr. potentially will be a purse bid. Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford fight potentially will be a purse bid. A purse bid. Purse bid. Which is great. I hope it's a purse bid. So we won't have to go through all the drama. Now you have a purse bid for this fight. We might be able to see another promotion handle this masterpiece, turn into a masterpiece. You know, what did Eddie Hearns get a hold of Crawford Spence? Whether Bob Arum comes in third again, like he did Teofimo Lopez, if that is indeed the case, and George Kambosos. Whether PBC is unable to win, because PBC didn't win. I don't see them winning a purse bid like this. I don't know. They have other issues going on. This makes it very intriguing, to say the least, man. A purse bid for Spence and Crawford. I want to see this happen, play out on a different stage than what we've been, talking about and conversing over and over again. PBC, possibly MTK, Global, this, that, and the other. Hey, may the best man win this purse bid. For real. May the best man win this purse bid. I'll say once again, Crawford versus Spence potentially may be a purse bid. I really like how that sounds, because right now, as the drama unfolds, the negotiation process is, of course, the 70-30, the 60-40. That's a negotiation process right now. And of course, Terrence Crawford's not going to take no 70-30 to placate any one of y'all out there. You know what I'm saying? This is not, slave wages type shit. This is one of the grandiloquent freaking matchups of undisputed 4-belt era. Let's feed both fighters properly. Without all the other shit. They want this shit to be fine dining, and they want to have the finest cuisine. They want this fight to be the finest cuisine. But when it comes to Terrence Bud Crawford, instead of him getting a glass of wine or something, they want to serve him seltzer water. They want to serve him some seltzer water. You know what I'm saying? Because seltzer water, the taste itself is gonna mess up everything that we got going on. It don't matter how the food tastes on your plate. You take a sip of seltzer water, you're done. I think this would definitely work out for Crawford, because if they're gonna do this in 2022, which I truly believe it's a great possibility, then potentially this purse bid should happen following, if indeed Errol Spence Jr. defeats Yordenis Ugas. Hold on for a second, y'all. Hold on for a minute. Hey, check this out. Hey, Bicep in the building, or whoever you are. I don't have to disclose to you where I get my news from. I'm just telling you. Y'all not gonna go behind me. Look, my sources that I talk to behind the scenes aren't isn't accessible to the general public. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going out here running a damn a local parking lot carnival and just telling all the people come and get your popcorn. People who I talk to is the people who I talk to. I'm not going to put sources out there because sources don't matter when people have different sources from different areas. People, they have different layers of sources. People that's attached to it, that play it by ear, that may get bits and pieces, and then sources of individuals that are actually connected to the grind. I don't have to provide my sources to anything. I don't. That's called confidentiality. When they tell you, don't mention my name, well, don't mention their name. That's what it is. And I'm not doing anything for views, man. I'm just telling you, potentially this would be a purse bid. All right. Just take it as that, enjoy it, and don't be nosy. Edward Heard Biz, they're gonna be like, we want to see proof of funds. Yeah, for real, right, Mike? They're gonna be like, see proof of funds, Mike. And any way we can see proof of funds. You know what I'm saying? We want proof of funds. Ghost, what's good with you, bro? How do you know what's false? How do you know what's false and the fight's not made? How do you know what's false and the fight haven't been made? You up here faking, dog. Come on, man. What's false? What's false about the potential? What we know is true is Shadina Zuka is fighting Errol Spence. You can't know anything else unless you are speaking to somebody. Are you speaking to the core? You're speaking to somebody that's attached to the circle. So what are you talking about false reporting? Be more specific, dog. Ghost, don't worry about where he got the news from. Take the news and move. Hey, talk to him, Ghost. Just take it in step, dog. Bruce Goes on deck, man. What's good with you, OG? How you feeling, bro? So my brother Scotty, wish me a happy born day at World Combat Sports, man. Hey, man, wish Bruce Goes a happy one. You know what I'm saying? A happy born day of prosperity, my brother. To many more. Stay healthy. See, I'm not gonna sing you a lullaby there, Bruce. That's not what I do. You know what I'm saying? That's not what I do. But I will, send a message out to those who tuned in, man. Be sure y'all wish Bruce Goes is on deck a happy born day. God had blessed him with another year's prosperity in life. That's what I'm talking about. Just asking, you said it yourself. I said, potentially, because the fight hasn't been made, there will be a purse bid. Learn how to listen foregoing, moving forward. Learn how to understand that potentially will be a purse bid. Spence and Crawford. I don't need to disclose my contact. Don't nobody give me information on this YouTube shit. Don't nobody tell me anything about nothing. So when I have confidentiality, it is what it is, bro. Just deal with it. This is World Combat Sports. We don't get no fake shit here. Appreciate you, that Ghost. Man, the fight hasn't even been made. All I'm saying is potentially there's going to be a purse bid from what I'm hearing. We still need to, hope that the fight is made and, Spence is able to get past Yardenas Ugas. Looking forward for a very good fight between them two. That has to happen first. Spence, first of all, has to come in healthy. He still has fight camp to go through. He still has sparring to go through. He still has a hill to climb. He still has that moment that's out there on whether or not his eye is still injured. The test has to be made. The test. He has to go to the test. He has to pass the test, y'all. You think he's going to go through sparring and not get punched in the eye? He has to go through sparring and see with a scratch cornea. Let's see will he be able to see everything? Will he be able to see the punches coming? Because those individuals that Derek James allowed in the gym the first time that secretly recorded that shit and put it out to the public, he wasn't looking that well. So we have to see if his eye has healed properly, and then therefore, is he going to be 100% ready for Ugas? If this fight in any way, shape, or form, I'm telling you first, if this fight between Errol Spence and Ugas is any way, shape, or form delayed, and they fight past mid-year, I don't know if we're going to see a Spence and Crawford fight in 2022. But keeping it positive on the lighter side, if indeed he's victorious, we will potentially see a purse bid with Crawford and Spence. Okay, for sure. Let's just do this. Let's just do this. Bicep. Just say I'm reading it out of context, like a lot of people do in the live chat. All right, my source is confidential. All right, so if you felt like I was overstepping, too aggressive on that reply, then my apologies. I will look at it like this: sources ain't to be revealed when you have individuals that speak to you for your common knowledge, that respect you enough for your common knowledge. You know what I'm saying? They give you things not to disclose who they are, but just to let you know where a certain situation is at or a certain fight is at. You know what I'm saying? It happens all the time in boxing. When I speak to people at these fights outside the camera, yeah, it would be cool if I can get it on video. But when they say I don't want to be on camera, I don't want you to quote my name, all right, cool. I have to respect that. But see, the next time I see him and I basically violate that, then they don't want to fuck with you at all. They just give you the palm. No, I'm good. And you be like, what? No, I'm good, bro. I'm good. And then if you pester them enough, they'll tell you, I saw this, and this, what you said. Da, da, da. They'll let you know, man. I spoke to you in confidence, and you went out here and you violated our code of honor. You know what I'm saying? Our confidentiality, our verbal confidentiality agreement. You violated that shit. So that's where I'm at with it. No one wants to be named when it comes to info being spoken about. People get in trouble if they are named in certain situations. Hey, Ghost ain't never lied on that shit. You will get addressed. And if they don't handle you directly, they will pretty much get a hold of you in another way. I mean, I ain't talking about no physical shit, but they will address you and approach you. I've seen it happen, dog. I've seen it happen. But back to the Terrence Crawford, Errol Spence situation. Potentially, this will be a purse bid, 2022. All right. And then there's a huge question out there going on who Terrence Crawford may fight. You know what I'm saying? Because he just stepped out of the ring in November. And once again, I really don't want to drive home. I don't want to be walking around here swinging a motherfucking claw hammer and shit, or calling up Thor and be like, Thor, can I get your hammer right quick? I want to knock some heads, God damn it. Let me swing it a little bit, Thor. We have individuals out here believing. And I was in conversation with some cats that's not even on YouTube, man. Like they deal with the boxing shit, right? And we was having this conversation about Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford, monetary gain, their potential wealth and revenue if this fight is planned properly, because it's already done built up, it's materialized beautifully, and all they have to do is prepare to step in the ring if everything lines itself up. Now, we had to talk about the conversation that's been spoken about Boots Ennis, right? So we're talking to these individuals telling me that, man, how long we've been waiting on this fight and how Errol Spence, car accident kind of delayed it. So Errol Spence shit delayed it. And then him being injured delayed once again for him stepping in the ring. Because this fight right here, it could have been made. It could have been really close to being made if that other belt would already been in possession of Crawford or Spence. So we're in there talking about all the storylines has been pushed about Boots, and they're telling me the same thing that I was thinking, right? That when I get on other panels and people believe that just because he's ranked a certain way, he should be next to fight Terrence Crawford. And then they said the most relevant shit. The most relevant shit, bro. Because if I said it, I'm hating. But these are people who work directly in this circle. They said, who is Boots Ennis, man? They weren't saying it like they don't know him. They say, why would we put Boots in the equation with Terrence Crawford when everybody knows Terrence Crawford is linked up to Errol Spence for a potential mega fight, and both of these guys are on a pound for pound list, dog. They say Errol's been calling for Undisputed. So it's only right for him to step in there with Urdinas Ugas. It's only right. He's been calling for this, for being Undisputed. This is his ultimate goal in that welterweight division. But when we was talking about the conversations that's being had on YouTube, and we was like, hey, we just have to address this right quick. So of course I'm gonna be a bit assiduous about it, paying attention to detail, and I'm like, hey, that so and so is ranked this in this sanctioning body. Would it be? This is how I address it. Would it be smart, or would it be even a consideration for Terrence Crawford to fight Boots Ennis before Errol Spence fight? And they was laughing, dog. They was like, what? Why would we do that? They was like, who is Boots Ennis with at the end of the day? Boots Ennis' name is no bigger than Virgil Ortiz. This is all about money. This is all about business. These two guys have been sitting on the pound for pound list. Why would we just all of a sudden get reckless and act like we don't know about the sport and say, guess what? We're going to make a fight with Terrence Crawford. We're going to make a fight with Terrence Crawford and Boots Ennis before Errol Spence. And they know how long. They say, we're aware how long this fight been marinating. So what's the point of us, this fight being marinated? What's the point of us blowing it at the end? It hasn't even reached the big stage yet, and we're just going to totally, destroy it. So I said, listen, do y'all watch YouTube? Like, do y'all care what we talk about? He said, yeah, more than you know. We watch YouTube. We see everything. We hear everything. I said, so what is the activity like? What is your thought process and receptively when you hear things like this, when people pushing? And they was like, hey, if they want to waste their time on shit they don't know nothing about, cool. I was like, damn. I had to think to myself. I was like, damn. I mean, that's true as shit. But for full-time content creators, they do have to go off the cuff sometime. They'll sit up here and make up storylines and push it out there, but they really don't know. It's new and it's refreshing to the audience, so they'll latch on to it, right? So what I appreciated was the fact that they said they absolutely tune in. They have people that tune in, and sometimes they tune in and listen to the YouTube videos and media content that's out there. But my main drive was what they thought about the Crawford Spence situation. And was there any, I wanted to hear their reasoning. I was like, listen, is it any way, shape, or form? Is it any, just a small window of opportunity that y'all were like, hey, listen to YouTube, listen to all these content creators out here talk about Boots Ennis. Let's put Boots Ennis in there with Terrence Crawford. He's not the guy. He's not the guy right now. That's not the plan. That's not the plan. Just like we kind of slid off a little bit about the Kambosos fight, which this is not for Kambosos, but they said the same thing. People have to understand boxing is a business. With business come decisions that's not appreciated by everyone. That's business. They say business decisions in boxing especially is not appreciated by the masses. It's always going to be like that. He said to include the Spence and Crawford fight. People can sit up here and wish all they want, but when it come down to us and what we're trying to make from the fight and what we're trying to plan, if the fight potentially can be a more a +1 after the first fight, it can be a +1 in a rematch. We have to look at all that. Why would we insert an uncommon name to the boxing masses that has less of a following than Terrence Crawford? They're kicking knowledge, like not really to me. I'm listening, but they're kicking knowledge. We're talking some shit, and I'm getting their perspective on this shit. They say, why would we put a name in here after Crawford's come out, Sean Porter? Why would we put a name like Bruce Ennis in the equation? Why? What sense does that make? And we're very close to making Spence versus Crawford. It makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. I wish I could have got, I wish I could have, had it on the interview or whatever. But, it's always good to have these conversations with people because, of course, I'm going to ask. I want to get somebody else's thought. Educate me. Maybe I'm missing it because I've been telling these cats, like, Bruce Ennis don't deserve a shot in no Terrence Crawford right now. And they trying to build up the damn Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford fight. But these cats start laughing. It's like Terrence Crawford, Bob Arum already put him out there as, he lost money on him and everything. So right now, he has the momentum, which they was correct. He has the momentum coming off the Sean Porter stoppage. Why would he fight somebody like Bruce Ennis? And he's trying to basically set up the mega fight. 2 top pound for pound guys in the same division, black. They have the grand opportunity to step in and square off and settle the score for undisputed. Being Boxing News, what's good? What's good with you, bro? It's on deck. Salute Bruce Goes. But y'all have to take that in consideration, man. Like when I have these conversations with these individuals, I'm not really trying to be the head of the conversation. I'm just trying to learn more. Like it's layers to boxing. Like it's an outside layer of what you can report on with boxing that goes off a lot of external reporting, third party information, reading, just reading freaking different articles is out there at common mainstream media, like ESPN, Boxing News, Boxing Scene, whoever you choose to get your information from. And then there's information about everything that you've listened to on the outside and you put it all together in this puzzle piece, right? And you're speaking on it. Then there's the internal layer of individuals that work with the core of these promotions and knows what's going on. Those individuals provide you a different light, but with them, they're going to tell you this is what we're working on and this is what we're pushing for. You know what I'm saying? So you cannot go out here and disclose information that's too close to where your source came from. You just put it out there like, hey, this is what I received, and this potentially may happen right here. It happens all the time. You see people put a title up here with a question mark, right? I don't do that too often. I just put the title up there, and that's it. I'm talking to grown people here. If you put some bullshit out there and you always want to lace it with a question mark, then that's you. But when I hear information, especially on this topic with Spence and Crawford, I'm curious. I'm curious to know what these minds are thinking. That's all. Mike, what's good with you, bro?
What's happening?
Man, it's been a minute. Good to have you back in the building.
You know it. You know it. You know it.
What you been up
Yeah.
to,
See.
bro?
Oh, not much, man. I just went and got me some bullets and some stopped by the hamburger spot. Oh,
I feel you, bro. How the family doing?
all right, all right. You know, hope yours is all right too, man.
Yeah, man. We got these long ass lines down here in the A with this Omicron and these vaccination tests and all this.
Yeah, you got it. You got it. I mean, you know, I don't get it. You know,
Well, what you want to
just
holler at? What you want to talk about, man?
oh man, he was talking about that Jake Paul thing. He was talking about that whole Spence and Crawford
Yeah.
thing. I've been said that I think it's gonna happen this year. I mean next year, and you know, and that Jake Paul thing, man. It don't matter what they was paid. You know what I'm saying? And the reason why it don't matter what they was paid is because, well, sorry, it doesn't matter what the numbers did because everybody was paid.
Mm-hmm. Everybody
You
was
know,
paid.
everybody was paid handsomely. Everybody was, as far as what I know, Manny Sereno and all that, everybody was okay with what they got at the end of the night, and there's far few between what these other promoters are doing for people. So, and then not only that, whether or not it was whether or not the fight was in whoever's favor, um, people were entertained. People were talking about it for a couple days, all the way until today. People are still talking about the fight. People who don't even talk about boxing are trying to slither in our realm and talk about boxing because they think the fight was rigged. Whether or not it was rigged or not, we would never know.
Yeah.
Until somebody says something. But that's what people do. It's like as soon as they hear something on social media, they create some buzzwords and stuff like that to feed the fiends.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to say that people in the LDBC is pimping they members, well, how come you as a fight fan keep getting pimped by these sanctioned bodies, keep getting pimped by these fighters, keep getting pimped by these other dudes on YouTube? I mean, Crawford versus Spence, or whichever way you want to say it. The fight is gonna get made when they're ready to make the damn fight, and you can say whoever's ducking and whatever, but it's all speculation. That's all I had.
I don't really speak on anybody ducking out, like I know I've mentioned excuses before when it came to Errol Spence. And then there's so many sound bites out there that, I look at him saying, why don't he take the easy route and all this? It's just recyclement. You know what I'm saying? Just narratives is being pushed and like you winding the motherfucking toilet roll over and over again. This shit ain't going nowhere. So right now, I think we all pretty much exhausted. We done heard this shit before. We're leaving one year and going into the other with a undisputed fight that happened at lightweight. Then we had the Jorge Ramirez and Josh Taylor situation. And then also we had Canelo at 168. Still no Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford. So 2022, it's ready. It's primed. It's motherfucking primed for 22. We just need the next belt, whoever hands it is. If it changes hand, if Ugas changes hand with Errol Spence, it messes up everything, dog. It
Yeah,
messes up
pretty much.
everything.
Pretty much. But for me, I would still want to see the Crawford and Spence fight, whether or not Spence loses or not. But it's like one of those things. Is like with boxing, it's like some of these fans are quick to write people off and just go on to the next instead of like being a fan. It's like I'm not saying you got to be a diehard fan or whatever, but if you look at other sports, NBA and all that stuff, people don't just throw their teams away after 1 year of no success. You know what I'm saying? So,
Correct.
and and it's multiple L's they take a year. People just don't throw them away. It's like people are just too quick to throw these boxes away. Some of them you might think of the world of them. They might not be the world, but that doesn't mean you throw them away.
And
That's
that
the
and
reason
that
why
and that comment is, man, it shines like a diamond for real. Because in boxing, they do have a bad habit of throwing fighters to the trash after 1 or 2 losses, man.
yeah. I mean, I'm not saying like if that happens to everybody because you got your Derek Chisoros of the world could take like 11, 12 L's, but
Exactly.
but there's certain fighters out here that can't afford it. If Shakur Stevenson took an L, man, God forbid if Gary Russell took an L. People won't like right now, not past, but right
Yeah,
now.
yeah. I
People
got you.
won't appreciate them as much as they did before as a boxer, as their boxing abilities and all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? And it'd be like on the next, but because we don't have a to me, I don't think we have a good, honest, faithful um um boxing, fans. You know what I'm saying? I don't think we have a lot of them. It's more of people who more of want to get their point across, their narrative across, and want people to agree with it. That's what I see.
I don't seen it too many times in comparison to MMA. How you just spoke on Derek Chisora, right? Still, right after he lost, man, right after he lost to Joseph Parker, Eddie Hearns up here putting him in the media talking about, oh, Derek Chisora versus so and so would be a good fight next year in 22. He just lost. Like, god damn, the dude just lost to you, and just because he went the distance, Eddie Hearn's gonna put him back in there. Look, I like that mentality to a point because you know how we look at it, like, okay, certain fighters don't get that preferential treatment. Derek Chisora, because of his mentality, his war mentality, all or nothing, kill or be killed, he gets placed right back in the conversation for another fight. But he's in the UK. US fighters, who can we say that continue to lose that's getting that support from their promoters, man? Who are we
And, and,
seeing over here?
and Sean Porter ain't getting all that either. Sean Porter ain't getting
Well,
that
he
either.
correct.
I mean, he got L's and stuff, and people still want to find him, but he's not getting that type of treatment. I didn't see too many people saying, besides myself, saying like, I wasn't heartbroken, but I was just like, damn, I don't think he should retire, man. That's not you know what I'm saying? Like, the way the fight stopped and all that stuff is just like, it just seemed like it was demoralizing, to go out like that, in retirement. But a lot of people don't. There's nobody. Look at Deontay Wilder, lost twice against the same guy, and people out there can't take the L, getting all emotional. It's like, yeah, Deontay Wilder's your favorite fighter, but come on, man.
I even back it up a little bit further when he took his first loss, the backlash he was getting. You know what I'm saying? He should retire. He's mentally, broken and fragmented. He should be out the sport. But they have to stop that in general because like the names you talked about, like a Gary Russell Jr., a Devin Haney, a Terrence Crawford, for instance, or Errol Spence, they would not get that same blowover like Edgar Berlanga received. Edgar Berlanga was his knockout artist with the right opposition. And then with Deadman Nichols, he went the distance. And then his next fight, he was dropped, but he still went the distance. You hear anybody talking about that? Nobody. Nobody's talking about that shit because it's all about the fighter. It's all about who you are. Seriously, it's just all about what fan base you have. I don't know. It's different. It's very finicky when it comes to this boxing game. Now, for me, I heard Big Dog in the building, J1 on deck. J1 said if Ugas beats Spence, he definitely may be the next undisputed. I mean, you can't put that +2 up there like that, bro. Because Ugas, you have to understand how his win over older Pacquiao, I salute him for that. But that's an older Pacquiao. Just like they're gonna say Floyd Mayweather fought an old Pacquiao. Ugas fought an old Pacquiao, no doubt about it. But he would have some extra needed support if he was to go in there and defeat someone like Errol Spence. I don't see it happening. I don't see it happening via the scorecards. I don't see it happening unless he goes in there and knocks Spence out. And really, as much as I don't support Errol Spence, I don't see that happening from Ugas because he didn't do it to Sean Porter and he didn't do it to Manny Pacquiao. So he ain't stopping Sean Porter. I mean, he ain't stopping Errol Spence.
Yeah. It's just that to me, that's the only thing I can say that between boxing and fight fans that has been adopted is the whole like Tyrone said on my live yesterday. It's killed or be killed, and if you take an L, it's like a death sentence. And it seems like that's how some of these boxers are moving. And the reason why some fighters can't get fights is because everybody, like if you look at the heavyweight division, you know, how is Char and Bryan fighting for a title, fighting for an eliminator? Out of all the heavyweights around, how come people are not was looking for, you know, Ugas to fight anybody else before now? How come the treatment for Kambosos is now is like who nobody knew your name yesterday, but people knew his name yesterday.
Yeah.
And you know what I'm saying? It's just that depending on who you're talking to. You know, that's why people say it's going to be a tough fight.
You said something about Trevor Bryan. Okay, you have to think of Don King Promotions.
Oh, right? I know. It's going to be in Ohio too.
Correct. So you have to just put that overlay. That's where you at with that, because they were supposed to fight a couple of times before it didn't happen. That's what you're seeing with that. You know what I'm saying? Don King, what they call it? Damn, what's that saying? Anyway, the Don King, he's standing in the shadows, man, and that's his fight. So that's why Trevor Bryan's about to get this fight with Manuel Char, and it is going to be what it is. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I read the lawsuit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I read it. I read his and Fred's.
So speak on it, man. What you got from it?
Oh man, and Fred's and Bryan, it does appear that they got done wrong. It does appear, but Fred's got done worse than Dillian White on like 3-4 occasions.
Correct.
Like he was getting promises for fights, and the sanctioning body was reneging each time. You know,
and just to be clear, you're talking about Fred Aquindo, right?
Yes.
So, how old is Aquindo right now? He's like what?
And he like 50-something.
So, the only thing he has right now, Mike, is a freaking lawsuit.
Yeah,
because he ain't stepping back in the ring.
I don't know. Not from what I heard him say on live streams.
That King situation, man, is kind of crazy. I even talked to Trevor Bryan, and shout out to my boy Sean for locking in that interview with me. I mean, Trevor, a lot of people don't know about him when they speak about U.S. heavyweights. Like a lot of people talking about Jared Anderson. You know, you have Mack Truck out of Atlanta, Georgia. I mean, you have some other U.S. heavyweights that's here, but Trevor Bryan, he's on IG, but a lot of people don't know. I don't know why they don't respect him. He's the WBA regular, and him and Manuel Char finally get the lock up. But that's a Don King promotion, dog, and barely anybody know anything about it. Jay Ocho on deck. What's good?
Well, that's true, and you know, Don King ain't been putting on. I mean, I give it to Don King. He puts his fight on his pay-per-views on his Don King. I watched a few of them, paid for a few of them on his forget what it's called, Don King Promotions TV or something like that. At a reasonable price. You know what I'm saying? At a reasonable, premium price. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Unlike a lot of these other guys around there. And I give it to him. You know, he's getting these fighters fights. He's trying to get them out there his way. in the new age of watching fights in 2021, which is a streaming service, and like you said, he's been one of those dudes right along with Bob Arum. It's like, every now and again they make a nice little move, but people won't pay attention to it. That is a nice move. You have two fighters. This fighter going in there, he picked up the Maku guy. The Maku guy is slated to fight Canelo. You can't say he can't swindle his way into something.
He can.
And
that's my mentality on the YTC reporting. Like, it's a lot of things can happen with some of these fighters, but they have to always remember that boxing is a business. There's a lot of people trying to make money behind the scenes, and their business decision is not going to really be applicable to the boxing masses. Like, they can care less what we think. It's all about what makes money, makes sense, not to us, but to them. And that's what it comes down to. And unfortunately for Don King, Don King's a triple OG in the game, man. But the fights that he's putting on right now, just like Ghost said. Now, who's that? Who's that said that shit? Ghost said, he said Don King controls shit from the shadows. He should be controlling shit from the shadows right now. You know what I'm saying? The way he moved, how long he been around the sport. He should be making fights from the shadows. It's just he's not as big as what we want him to be, like he was back in the day.
Yeah, it is good though, because it's good though, and because the way I put it is, yeah, as a promoter, yeah, you should be giving your 3 cents and stuff like that on your fight, and what you want to do to letting the general public what you want to do. But when you handle a business and you're giving out promises that you can't keep, like some of these promoters, to me, that's when it becomes a problem. When you're hearing things like one more day, mate, and all these guys is trying to sit out here and give us, what you call those things, wolf tickets on whatever fight's going to be made and stuff like that. Like I said, this dude, he literally swindled his way to getting his fighter a title eliminator with the guy that his fighter can win again, Emmanuel Charr. Only thing his fighter got to do is go into the gym, lose a bit of weight, you know what I'm saying, and come in there in shape. Because Emmanuel Charr, he can't go past the 6th round. Emmanuel Charr had a little problems even with Christopher Lovejoy. If it wasn't for Christopher Lovejoy being out of shape and not knowing how to box, he could have, Lovejoy could have got him up out of there. And Emmanuel Charr ain't no spring chicken either.
Correct.
And it's a title eliminator. And then who is he going to have to fight? The landscape of heavyweight division. It's going to be either Anthony Joshua or Olazana Usyk, or maybe even fight for all 4 of the belts, depending on who gets it before they even fight. That boy, he's an energizer bunny. I tell you that much. Only in America.
And that heavyweight division, man, is looking crazy right now because of the Dillian White situation. The lawsuit he has pending. After all the talk, the back and forth, him calling people cowards all the time. And now he's up on the front doorstep. And he doesn't even want to take that walk inside and contend for that WBC title because he has a lawsuit going on. It's just insane, man. Like, it fucked everything up because we had so much momentum from 2018 with Deontay Wilder and Anthony Joshua, which should have happened. And then to the point where Deontay and Tyson Fury's first fight went down all the way to the trilogy. Now, the heavyweight division in this time, it haven't been spoken on with the same type of fire that it did when Deontay Wilder and Fury was going on. We're talking about for a single WBC title. That's all people wanted to see, was who was going to have that title, who was going to get that WBC title. Now, for Anthony Joshua, we already know that he wasn't a global star. And I always said that he was shaky. He was a robotic type of fighter. Oleksandr Usyk move up and they end up getting the belts. It only goes to show you that, hey, Anthony Joshua wasn't on plan. There's a lot of people that was talking about that he may drop the belts anyway. But anyway, he was defeated by Alexander Usyk. Now that you have Tyson and Usyk, and you have the rematch with Joshua, no one's talking about the heavyweight division. No one. And check this out, Mike. How can we even get some solid content on the heavyweight division when Usyk is not talking to media? Like, I was right there by him. He wasn't giving us the time of day to talk about nothing. Like, all I would like to ask him is about him winning the titles, of course, and what's his plans. You know, stepping in there with Joshua next. Who would he want to face if he's able to get past Joshua? Do he want to unify the division? You know, would he like to fight Deontay Wilder? Who? I'm just trying to find out what the man thinking. Nothing. He wouldn't talk to media. So that kind of puts us in a stale, basically a stalemate right now with the heavyweight division. It's just amazing how it was blown the fuck up before the trilogy. Now that shit is flat. Super duper flat. Even when Tyson Fury walked in MSG and singing Happy Birthday to Bob Arum, man, people was like, man, come on, man. We done seen you do this bullshit before. Who are you fighting, dog? You know what I'm saying? Who are you fighting? Shout out to Pete Davenport, man. I see you. Salute to you being on deck, my brother. Yeah, go ahead, bro.
I mean, because I've been trying to say for a minute that Dillian White needs to take his career into his own hands and sort of WBC a long time ago. That's because if that's how you feel and stuff like that, that's just the name of the game. What you're gonna have to do, and that's a form of it's just business, baby. But I see why he did it. But at the same time, is a lawsuit shouldn't stop somebody from doing the right thing. You see what I'm saying? In good faith and order of what the WBC has offered to Dillian White. But the problem where it started was that the WBC gave Dillian White a deal, which was Wilder versus Fury. Winner has 30 days to get a deal done to fight Dillian White, or they would have to forfeit their title.
Correct.
That's what it was. He lost to Povetkin. They ended up giving it back, but before that, he was suing. So he had to sue them for them to give it to him back. And then what they said was, well, since he has a pending lawsuit, we can't. This is what WBC said. Since he has a pending lawsuit, we can't give him that same offer. But then they go back and give him that same offer. You see what I'm saying? But without the 30-day or be strict. With them saying you will only get 25% for the Fury fight. You see what I'm saying? So I understand why someone would sue the WBC and say, what the hell? Why are you doing this? This is my deal. Now you only said 25% when the 25% wasn't from the beginning one, because that would have been 35% if it was mandated, right?
So, yeah, he want 10 mil, dog.
Well, if it's 10 mil, if depending on what Fury is getting, I understand that, but you got to fight for this is just me. You got to fight for what you think that you are worth. But also you have to also think about what you have said and you have done in the past. So Dillian White is in a bad situation, and he put himself in this situation. He waited too long. He got done dirty by the WBC. He wanted to keep with the WBC instead of fighting for these other titles. And so he really essentially made himself look bad. Even though the WBC did their part in this whole fiasco, but Tyson Fury doesn't have to fight Dillian White if Dillian White doesn't want to take that 25%. And Tyson Fury's team, they know that, and they know fighting Dillian White if it's only in the UK, it's gonna give money. But then they're also thinking about the top rank bit of it all and getting some money out of here in the US. And that's the reason why.
Like Bob Arum once, hey Mike, but like Bob Arum once again said, who knows Dillian White in the US? Who? You can't come over here and fight one time. You can't come over here and give us no bullshit ass fight and expect us to embrace you and serenade you with love. It's tough over here to get that respect. You know what I'm saying? It's tough over here to be a Tyson Fury that's able to come over here and act like a clown and people love him, you know what I'm saying, and appreciate what he's doing as far as his promo. Not every fighter has that bravado about him. You know, so Dillian White is gonna have to figure it out. Do I knock him for being in a lawsuit? Like you said, if you're not gonna fight for yourself, who's gonna fight for you? You know what I'm saying? It just puts the whole heavyweight division, just like Ghost said again. It brings us back to the Klitschko era, bro. I told people they were so in a hurry to get rid of Deontay Wilder. Now look at us. We're damn near back in the Klitschko era again. I know it's been short months, but we're damn near there. If this shit doesn't clear up, because I know Alexander Usyk reminds me of a Klitschko brother, because shit, he ain't talking about shit. Tyson Fury's only going to talk to the media that he trusts now. So we're done until Jared Anderson or another heavyweight, Max Troy, anybody that's up and coming from the U.S. does something spectacular. We're in trouble. And, you know, Dillian White, he's going to have to, you know, talk with Hearn. You know, I just don't see it, man. I just don't see what people are going to sit up here and flock to see Dillian White step in the ring after being knocked out recently by Alexander Povetkin. You know what I'm saying? I seen Alexander come in there from the rematch. He didn't even look like the same fighter. It seemed like they injected both of his legs with ramen noodle sauce, and that motherfucker couldn't stand up, you know, stumbling all over the place and shit.
He looked drunk.
I can hear you.
No, I said he looked drunk in that bad boy.
Yeah, he looked drunk, like they drugged him or something. Like it was just crazy, man. Let me get some of these comments right quick. Brown on Boxing on deck. I see you, UK on deck. Deontay Wilder's the face of boxing, the face of heavyweight division, the champ. Revived boxing. Yeah, man, he had the shit glowing, man. Even though, you know, he took 2 losses to considerably the best heavyweight, still he did what no other heavyweight was doing. Not even Joshua. Joshua didn't take the leap. Joshua never took the leap. Dylan has been told to not accept any offers, so it goes to purse bid. Hearn is behind this. Hey, you know how Hearns go. You know what I'm saying? If it's all about to go to purse bid, then get it how you live it, bro. Get it how you live it in this boxing game. Because when it comes to the money, I kind of you know say I'm off on that. I kind of fall back on that because I have no influence to continue to talk about the money issues. You know, the purse bid. Boxing is changing, y'all. Remember that. We seen this with Joshua versus White too. We seen this with the Joshua versus White too. Hearn stopped that fight, knowing Dillian would accept the low ball offer. I wouldn't want to see that again because even though he fought Joshua when Joshua wasn't champion at the time, I thought, you know, it wouldn't be any different than the first one. The issue with Dillian is he's reaping what he sowed. He know that he did what he did to Ortiz. Everyone does, but not many want to talk about it. Talk your shit, Ghost. That's what I'm talking about. He did duck Luis Ortiz. He didn't want to give him the shot because he know he felt Luis Ortiz was a threat. Usyk won't stick around. He will retire if he gets undisputed at heavyweight. He's a strange dude, but I can't really knock Alexander Usyk for acting the way he is. Like, he has a sense of humor. He reminds me of Frankenstein. I'm not gonna lie. Like when I was taking pictures of him, and he didn't know, he actually, you know, gave me some looks, not bad looks, like he was playing to the camera. The only time I seen him kind of get in character as a fighter was when this other media outlet, I think they was from the UK or whatever, that kept poking at him to get him to respond. And then the guy touched him on the shoulder and Usyk turned like he was about to shoot a jab down the pipe on this nigga. You know what I'm saying? Go say the next era of boxing is the Cuban generation. We're going to have to deal with the bullshit with Usyk and Fury for a while. After that, Cuban take over. So what you talking about? Cuban like Frank Sanchez and all them cats? Who you talking about? They took Povetkin and Perez and gave him COVID 6 weeks before White rematch. Shit. His brother on the way to U.S. Frank Sanchez, Leonard Perez is coming. Frank Sanchez is already here, really. You know what I'm saying? People are catching on to Frank Sanchez, man. Let me ask you this, Mike. If Fury vacates, I hope Heyman don't turn down the Wilder fight. What do you think Fury's next move is going to be when it comes down to it? Because he's going to end up fighting somebody.
If he vacates,
yeah.
I mean, he's going to have to fight somebody, but is anybody going to want to fight? Is anybody going to want to fight him for no belts? I mean, for no belt, because really, over here, I mean,
they talking about Robert Helenius. They talking about potentially Robert Helenius
or Andy Ruiz.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm pretty sure those guys will fight him. But again, who the hell knows Tyson Fury up over here? You know, if you're going to say Robert Helenius and Andy Ruiz.
Who the fuck knows Robert Helenius?
Yeah. People would show up to watch Andy Ruiz because some people out here know him. Plus, he's Mexican. You know what I'm saying? Plus, it'd be his third chance at a title. But you can't fight Robert Bullionius up over here. You can't fight that dude up over here and think people are going to buy that. Like, essentially, Tyson Fury in America, the belt is bigger than him. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The belt is bigger than him because by his name alone, nobody's going to come and watch him by himself. So if we're going to talk about Jake Paul, Tyrone Woodley, Amanda Serrano with old girl, and those numbers flopping, when people know who Jake Paul is, people know who Tyrone Woodley is, and that flop, what do you think is going to happen with this? You know? And that's the reason why I think that, I think that, all hell and good warfare and all that stuff, but Dillian White should just take it because I don't think there's that much money in Tyson Fury. They had to build Anthony Joshua up so much that they overinflated him and the bubble popped.
The bubble popped, especially when Hearns was out here selling wolf tickets to the public that in August, Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua was absolutely going to fight, knowing damn well the arbitration was still active. You feel me? So that really let the air out of a lot of people who was just in denial. They was in denial that the arbitration was happening. But then what even further deflated the boxing community was that Deontay Wilder lost. It would have been a great storyline for him to come out of arbitration and retain and get his belt, regain his belt. That shit would have set the heavyweight division on fire, dog, again. But people wanted Deontay Wilder out of the picture. Now that he's out of the picture temporarily, there's nothing else to talk about.
Yeah.
There's nothing else to talk about. Nobody's talking about Robert Helenius and defeating Andy Konoski twice. Nobody gives a fuck about that. We just seen Andy Ruiz come off a damn knock him drag out fight with Chris Arreola not too long ago. People not looking at him as a threat. So this heavyweight division is just, man, it's in a bad place right now, dog. Like, this is exactly what I was saying months and months ago. Y'all busy want Deontay Wilder to lose his belt. Now the U.S. is searching for another big name. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I like Jared Anderson, but he has a lot of freaking work to put in to get to that stature that Deontay Wilder had, bro.
See, I gotta agree with you. And the reason why I'm in agreement with you because if Deontay Wilder would have won, we wouldn't have heard nothing of this sort. See what I'm saying? With no Dillian White and this 25% and stuff like that. Everybody who Deontay Wilder has fought, including the people who was his mandatories and stuff like that, you didn't hear no such a talk about bitching and moaning about splits. You didn't hear about nobody going in the media saying, well, Dominic Brazil better take this or else, or King Kong Ortiz better take this or else. Tyson Fury better take this or else. You didn't hear nothing like that.
Nothing.
We keep hearing the same stuff out of the same people with splits, and it's when it comes to the heavyweight division. Now, if Deontay Wilder would have won, you know, the Dillian White fight would have happened most likely. 30 days negotiation window. He would have done that because it's too damn easy. It would have been up over here. They would have made a whole bunch of money and got up out of there and owned the Undisputed. I'm telling you, that Undisputed fight with Anthony Joshua or Usyk versus Tyson Fury is going to be the same old story. People bitching and moaning about splits. They was doing it with the one more day mate stuff. They was bitching and moaning about splits with that. And the public, it's gonna be the same old song, and it's gonna be the same old stalemate with these guys when they have the belts. When Tyson Fury and these matchroom guys and these weirdos around here have the belts, and it always takes the longest build-up times, and they just have all these fighters waiting for their shot because they're gonna treat them like Canelo. They can fight whoever they want. Look who Anthony Joshua as far as his mandatory, and look how they kept pushing shit back. But with Deontay Wilder, he can't push anything back.
The perfect example of what you just said was when the sort of informal negotiation was going on between Joshua and Deontay when the 12 million flat, 15 million flat, and then the 50 million, I'll fight you tomorrow type shit was popping off. It came down to, well, they said that the WBA mandatory, Anthony Joshua had to sign on to fight that, Alexander Povetkin, else he'd be stripped. So a week, they say he had a week. A week came and passed. Nothing happened to Joshua back then. But it's the fact that WBA came out just to mute the situation that was ongoing with Anthony Joshua. With him saying, you give me 50 million and I'll fight you tomorrow. Well, shit. They came up with some bogus WBA mandatory shit. The week came, passed, and then finally they came out and said Joshua signed a 2-fight Wembley deal. One was going to take place in September and the other one in April the following year. We seen him stepping there with Alexander Povetkin, and nobody's talking about that fight. You know what I'm saying? Nobody's even talking about it. But the fact that they threw this shit up there when they could have had an undisputed, they could have made this undisputed with Joshua and Deontay Wilder at the right time, but he wasn't ready. Eddie Hearns know he wasn't ready. You know what I'm saying? And that's that will always be one of those bookmarks in the boxing annals, man. What if Deontay Wilder would have fought Anthony Joshua in 2018, man?
Yeah, they didn't want it. They didn't want it. And like you said, it was like always some type of convenience. Like, these sanctioned bodies popping up saying you got a mandatory defense. But, with the whole one more day mate with the whole Saudi Arabia deal, they was able to push all those back, and hold off on those. When Alexander Usyk came from the cruiserweight division, Alexander Usyk had first dibs at Anthony Joshua under his sanctioned body. What happened with that? They kept pushing it back. You know what I'm saying? Why did they keep
and they never paid Usyk any step aside or anything because a fight didn't happen, right?
Right, but they kept pushing it back, and he had his rights to take the fight. The thing about it was they thought they had Deontay Wilder. They literally thought they had Deontay Wilder into a corner to where he could just some dude from Alabama. That they thought that he didn't know nothing. They thought that he was just gonna sign whatever to have that fight, and they take all the money. You know what I'm saying? With no rematch clause and none of that stuff. Ask us why owners in the Usyk ain't got a rematch clause.
True. It all depends on, like I said, the business aspect of it, man. Like, when it came down to Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury, the rematch clause was in there. You know, Deontay Wilder was willing. You know what I'm saying? UK, I don't know why you can't see Ghost comments. I can see all the comments. I don't know. I can see all the comments that's up here. Neither
Yeah,
one
I
of
can
you
even
all are blocked.
I can even see Ghost comments on the StreamYard thingy.
You say you can or can't?
I can.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I don't know what he probably late or something like that. He probably behind. And it's gonna take a time to those comments come up. Oh boy. He said Anthony Jackson laughed and stop.
Yeah. I always thought he was that guy. Just a manufactured champion, well protected. You know, Eddie Hearns built him just like you would build a goddamn Tonka toy blocks. I mean, whatever them damn building blocks back in the day. He just stacked the titles on top of each other the right way. Paid Charles Martin, then winning sought Vladimir Klitschko out of retirement, and then Joseph Parker did enough to survive. You know what I'm saying? Like, he had the ultimate rise to fame, but yet it got a little bit tough. People was trying to say, "Hey, we need to see you do more." And now Joshua's at a point right now. He gets dusted by Oleksandr Usyk, and now he in the States up here talking about some of his favorite leaders was Big Meech and Larry Hoover. That shit was hilarious. Don't come over here doing that shit, Joshua. Some of my leaders would be Big Meech, Larry Hoover. I'm like, come on, bro. Don't be trying to play this hard drug dealing type thug now. No, be a thug in the ring, dog. You know what I'm saying? When Andy Ruiz was whooping your ass, you should have been a thug. You know, when Oleksandr Usyk was in your square, you should have been a thug. Anyway, that's all the love I'm giving Anthony Joshua, because shit he was doing to Deontay Wilder back then, I still don't appreciate it to this day, for real. I think Eddie Hearns was treating Deontay like he was the next slave on the selling block. And we're gonna give him 12 million flat fee, nothing on the back end. I mean, that's just disrespect, bro. That's just disrespectful. Pete said, "That's the truth, big bro. There's no heavyweight buzz going on. The excitement gone. There's nothing to talk about. What are we talking about? Like the heavyweight division not too long ago, that was the talk of the town, man. Like, fuck. Now we're back to square one with the Errol Spence Terrence Crawford fantasy fight. Look how quick the Canelo shit died down. The Canelo unified the super middleweight division. People not even talking about it no more. Now we back to the fantasy fight with Spence and Crawford.
Man, oh man! Then you forgot the Camboso fiasco.
No, I'm giving that time to land in 22, because Camboso, up here trying to talk shit to the people and trying to make it seem like he was all about giving Devin Haney that shot to clear up any doubt and confusion. But
as soon as I got my belts, I was gone.
Yeah, as soon as he got them belts, he was like the road runner, wasn't he?
Yeah, like Uncle Elroy for Friday. I always said I'd never leave out the booth. As soon as I got my money, I was gone.
Yeah, dog.
I don't blame him, though, but I don't blame him. Only thing I blame him for is opening his mouth and trying to act like, he was gonna do the right thing by boxing and go for Devin Haney, and so we can solidify and nullify this whole undisputed mess, right?
Absolutely, dog. He was giving us lip service. Absolutely.
And then now when it's promoters, I don't know if it's Suge Knight or Pete Diddy, and his ears are saying, "Hey man, you can't be saying that because you got all these cats around here that's licking their chops on you, that we can shop you around and we can get more money. We can squeeze more money out of the ass." You know what I'm saying? It's like he's a different fighter than he was yesterday now. Now he's a superstar trying to call Devin Haney broke and that he needs to sell his chains to buy a flight to Australia.
What you thought about that? I thought that was a bit prejudiced myself.
I don't think it was prejudice because he wears jewelry too. I just think that he was just trying to call him broke.
So basically, the vehicles that's out there that he's put on IG, they don't cost. When it comes to black athletes, what they say, they always look at the jury and everything else, right? So for him to sit up here and say, sell your jury, it's like little boy shit, man. It's like I just take it to a point where you're trying to take a stab at the culture. You know what I'm saying? What does jury have to do with catching a flight over to Australia? It's not that much money, to be honest
I'm
with
pretty
you.
sure his chain costs at least about $20,000, Cambosos. He got jewelry on. My main thing is this now, is that you wasn't saying this before you had the belts, but now you're saying it now. You're making yourself out to be the sweetheart, and then as soon as you get these belts, now all of a sudden you got the biggest mouth on social media because you're trying to shop around, you're trying to build your profile. That's what he's trying to do. He's trying to build his profile now. Off the bat of beating a fighter that really didn't even have a good team. He had his daddy.
Yeah, it was two daddies in there, right? On that night, it was two daddies involved in that fight.
Well, we saw whose daddy, actually know what they was talking about.
I put it like this, man. Like I'm giving 22 to come in for this.
Okay, I got a question. Whoever Cambosos fight next, do you think he's gonna win?
I don't look at him as being that guy that I just automatically say just because he defeated Teofimo Lopez. I just look at him not performing as great as people giving him credit for. Like, I still consider Teofimo a threat. I know he had been having a problem with weight for quite some time, so he's moving up to 40. But with Kambosos, man, it's hard for me to put him as a favorite. Not because he's being a clown right now, but I just don't see him as an entertaining fighter because, dude, you coming off 2 split decision, and then you come in here and you win the kit and caboodle. I get it, bro. You won the grand prize, but me, I just don't look at him as being that superior fighter that people need to be afraid of. That's if he even fight Devin Haney or he choose to fight Lomachenko. Either way it goes, both of those boxers, in my opinion, are better boxers technically than Kambosos. Kambosos load up on that right hand a lot.
Yeah, I think he's going. I think whoever he fights again next, like the people that he picked on Twitter, Loma Tate, Devin Haney. I think if you fight any of those 3 guys, he's going to lose.
Well, he ain't getting tanked. He ain't getting tanked, even though they might be treating him like a thought with a high skirt on. He's not going to get no damn money from Mayweather Promotions.
He's going to lose.
Huh? Yeah, he's going to lose that.
Either way, he's going to lose, and he knows it. I think he knows it.
I think what you're saying that he knows it, but they still want to go for the paycheck though.
That's the only thing they can do is get this money. Why else? Like I said, be a sweetheart. Then you get these belts. All of a sudden, you want to be you want to be the tough guy. Why else do that? Because you're shopping around. Because at the end of the day that these belts, your next fight could be gone, and you have to hit the reset button. And if he hits the reset button, who is he going to fight? Brian Garcia?
I have no idea. It's possible. I don't know, bro. When it comes to Ryan Garcia, you know my take on that shit.
He just needs to be a model. He need to go over there, find Polo and or whatever, and just stick to model because I think that boy gonna get hurt. He gonna get hurt. Fight Haney, he gonna get hurt. He keep leaving himself open all the time.
I think Devin outboxing him. You know, the skills between Haney and Lomachenko, I just feel that they have that cachet enough to outbox and win on the scorecards with Kambosos. It don't have to be any knockouts. It don't have to be something that's consistent with power punches and shit like that. You can outbox Kambosos, man, easy. You just have to be aware of that right hand because he does load up on it a lot.
I just don't. My whole thing is just his defense. You know, it's just, you know, and then look who he fought. You know, and now you see why, you know, folks is over here running from certain people. You know what I'm saying? Now you see why Loma took the way that he took, because some of these guys, the juice ain't worth the squeeze. It ain't worth it. You could call him the Matrix all day, because he made about 4 or 5 moves in the fight. But then when you see him getting licked up in the fight, you see the guy who whooped on him years ago ain't boxing no more. When you see the guys that you wanted him to fight, he didn't fight. Now you see the reason why he didn't fight.
Mm-hmm.
He fighting people that he know that he can win against. He ain't fighting, just like Holyfield said in his interview. He basically said, "Man, I wasn't going in there and fight nobody I think I could win against." And there's a reason for that. There's a solid motherfucking reason for that. Because if you go into a fight thinking that you're going to lose, what's most likely going to be the outcome? When you fight these top tier guys, you're going to fucking lose.
You know, I try not to cook on Kambosos today because, you know, I did yesterday. Let me get to Jay Dixon right quick. He said, I don't know why people listen to what these boxers say. Watch what they do, and that will tell you everything. Well, it's easy to say that they're JA, but I look at it like in the welterweight division, that's all you hear is us highlighting the verbal sparring that's going back and forth between Crawford Spence. But then with Kambosos, the lightweight division, it's almost like they're a gossip column, like they're a vlog. Like Ryan Garcia was saying he was going to fight Gervonta, he was capping. He was fighting Pacquiao, he was capping. Then it turned around, Kambosos said, "Hey, we're going to clear this all up about any confusion." And then his adrenaline goes down. He takes a shower, go out and eat some fine food. People start getting in his ear, and he puts on his IG, "I'm undisputed. I'm the king. You know what I'm saying? Nobody can fuck with me." You know, putting polls out on Twitter. Who should I fight? Nah, motherfucker, you just said you was going to clear up any confusion. Now, you all about the damn confusion. You know what I'm saying? You out here being holed around like a little hoe, and you trying to go to the highest bidder. Let me see who this is that popped in here. That's you, Smoke? Smoke, that's you? Smoke. I'll wait. Pete Davenport said, "Nah, that's racist." Exactly. Kambosos pulling a diva move like Lopez. Whoever Kambosos pick is no easy fight. I'm sure the zone will pay him what he wants. They're trying to build in Australia. So if that is indeed the case, I mean, what do you think the price tag is for Kambosos, though? You know, what's the price tag for the titles?
$1.50.
Something like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, why should he be all of a sudden get this high ass damn price tag? You know what I'm saying? I mean, come on, man. Hold on for a second. Let me see who this is. No, I can't hear you, bro. Hey, Smoke. I can't hear you, man. You might need to go out and come back in. I can't hear a word you're saying. JC, I don't see anything special in Kambosos. Why the F and where the F Kambosos come from to be getting a shot for all the belts before Devin Haney? And this is why I'm saying, the protest should happen. I believe we should put more emphasis in holding him accountable for his bullshit. We need to stop allowing these fighters come over here like Cambosis. They get a mandatory. Okay, salute you for getting it done. But motherfucker, don't play with the US fans like this. You know what I'm saying? Fuck the jury statements. You know what I'm saying? We need for you to be held accountable for your words. You say you're gonna clear up all doubt. Let's get it. All you got to do is make the fight. But your whole ass up here trying to wait till the Lomachenko fight is over with, because you know damn well you want to step in there with Lomachenko because you want the cash out. That's all Cambosis want. He want a motherfucking paycheck, and he want Lomachenko on his record. You know what I'm saying? Lomachenko is going to be his Pacquiao. Let me see who popped up in here. Tell me, I wanted to ask you a question. I want to ask you a question on this, man. What do you think? Can you hear me, Mike?
Yes.
Oh, okay. What do you see Jerry Anderson, in the scheme of things with the heavyweight division? Like, what do you see him at his last fight against Telesco? How many fights do you see him off the radar until he steps on the big stage in title contention?
Oh man. I see, I just think that they know he's missing a few tools in his bag. I think that, his defense needs to be a little bit better than what it is. But I think about 5 fights. I mean, you can't keep fighting those type of guys and on people's undercards thinking that, that's really what's going to grab attention. I mean, some people got mad at me for saying that I didn't think his last performance was really all that, and it's a fact. Just because you're getting in there and knocking out guys that you are supposed to knock out doesn't mean that doesn't mean that you are that good as if they trying to say, because you got to think about it, though, you're only good as the level of competition that you're fighting against, and if you're not fighting, top tier competition or people that's around your age group or people that's from your year group and the amateurs, and you're fighting these other guys, this is what's going to happen. He's going to be just like all the rest of these heavyweights in the United States, all the way until he gets a title and gives about 5 title defenses and gets a big fight to unify, because he's going to have to fight somebody. Now,
so you giving Jerry Anderson 5 fights, which he's 11-0 right now, I believe. So let's just say, for instance, for the heavyweight makeup over here in the U.S. footprint, you giving Jerry Anderson 5 fights. With 5 fights with these fighters today, that's like that's about 2.5, 3 years right there.
Ain't that many folks around like that, though.
It's like 2.5, 3 years for us to even come close to seeing a U.S. heavyweight champion for title contention.
Yeah, but there's not that many folks around these days.
No, I'm just saying that's what has been boiling up to this point with Deontay Wilder not being in the picture. This is where we at.
I mean, some people say like, oh, you don't got that many fights and it would be easy on them. It's like, I'm a fan of boxing. You know what I'm saying? So if I turn on the TV and I see a guy fighting that he's supposed to knock out, I'm not obligated to let that slide.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not obligated to let that slide, because there's nothing saying that he can't fight nobody that's going to put up a fight, which I'm quite understanding of that in this day and age. That type of stuff is not going to happen that much. You know what I'm saying? But, I say about that because the level of competition, there's not that many guys. Jermaine Franklin, I don't see him fighting next year. You got and everybody else, is a couple of years above him.
You know who I was impressed with that really don't give me that vibe, but he's very tough, man, and I have to give it to him as far as his durability. That was Jerry Forrest. Shout out to Jerry Forrest, man. You know, he fought a pretty good fight against Carlos Takam. Like I was like, damn, you know, he's a tough dude. He took some punches, and he
Mm.
is a U.S. heavyweight. Jerry Forrest is a U.S. heavyweight, but you know he's taking some losses, and people don't really take him serious to be a title contender.
Right.
They don't. So right now, Jared Anderson, their whole plan is to get him to the title contention and put him up there for a title. But he still has a lot of growing to do. Like you said, you giving him a nickel, that's like 3 years.
Yep. Yep. It would depend on how frequently he fight in 1 year. But you know, if he keeps fighting guys like those all the way until 17, 20 fights, you know, what is that going to do for him?
He's gonna have to get an FA job in between that. You know what I'm saying? They definitely not gonna put him in with Frank Sanchez.
Nah. Mm-mm.
Robert Helenius, I don't know. Like Andy Ruiz, that could be a step up fight for him. Andy Ruiz, you know, former unified world champion. You know what I'm saying? That'll give him a little bit. What do you think about him and Chris Arreola, man?
Nah, I would put him in there with a Gerald Washington in about 3 fights.
Okay.
About 3
Gerald
fights.
Washington about to fight on the undercard, I think, coming up this weekend.
Well, the problem with Gerald Washington is like, you know, for somebody not to have that much defense, he sure do love putting his back on the ropes.
He do, don't he?
And Gerald Anderson love when you put your back on the ropes. You know, so you know, I think that'd be a good fight, you know. And at least Gerald Washington ain't going you know, he's gonna put up somewhat of a fight, you know what I'm saying? But
yeah,
you know, and he has good attributes. I think when Gerald Washington utilizes his jab correctly, I think it comes off sweet. But when he don't, it's easy to counter.
Let me get some of these comments. UK said, I think Haney Campos is next. They using online channels to do all the promo legwork. So if that is indeed remotely close there, UK, well, they need to show their face. If they actually tuning in to online channels, for real, they need to show their face. If they're gonna give this any type of attention, and Campos is truly gonna step in with Haney, where they're doing a disservice to the promo and not letting us know right now. Like, I know there's a lot of paperwork, business, red tape, but right now through the New Year's, if we actually had a clear understanding that they're next, oh man, we have some shit to talk about. You know, jumping into 22, that this fight is going to happen. That's what everybody's going to be talking about. You know what I'm saying? So no need to hold out and be in the shadows. Let us know if this is going to be the next fight. 79 Boxing, what's good with you? On deck, man. Salute to you. J.A. say that's exactly why I don't listen to them when a fight is signed. I'm all ears, but sometimes entertaining right up into their words and actions don't match. Yo, man, you know what I'm saying? I mean, it is a business, and these motherfuckers be capping sometime, a lot of times too. Would you estimate the fight? What would you estimate the fight at WCS lightweight, undisputed? Who was the last? Excuse me? I don't understand what you're talking about, man. You know, okay, Smoke. I already told you what I feel about the franchise title. I consider Kambosos the undisputed champion. It doesn't matter, you know. Look, I consider him that because of what is being pushed by Mauricio Suleiman. Like I always say, it's just like legislation, right? You know, they push all these bills and stuff. People's like, oh, I don't want that change. But guess what? The change is here, goddammit. You didn't think we was going to wear a mask on the inside. We got to wear masks, and that's how it goes. It's the same thing with this title. They come out with something new. You may basically deny it or want nothing to do with it. But the president, boxing has no commander in chief, no president, no single president over the sport. So everybody doing their own thing. So when you have Mauricio Suleiman just putting out information and creating the superiority of this belt, there's no need to continue to ask me over and over again whether I consider who's undisputed. Just look at what Mauricio Suleiman's actions are. He's devaluing the belt that Devin Haney has. Now, if people give a damn about Devin Haney becoming the true 4-belt, along with the franchise, undisputed, lightweight champion, then guess what? Push for the fight. Protest it on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? Protest it on YouTube. Get the message out there. That's all I can say. If you're not willing to do that, then hey, just create another thumbnail and keep on talking about it until we take a wild guess on if this fight's ever going to happen. Don't be pissed if he come out there with Lomachenko as his dance partner. You know what I'm saying? Because it's possible. See, UK said big baby, right? I don't know which big baby you're talking about. We do have a U.S. champion in Jarrell Big Baby Miller, right? The reason why I haven't mentioned him because I don't know how long he's going to be active in the sport to stay clean enough to contend for a title. I don't know. That's why I don't mention his name. Like, this is the dude that admitted to my face that he fucked up, and then he went and and Mike didn't even mention Jarrell Big Baby. You know what I'm saying? He's not in the conversation right there, dog.
Yeah, I mean, I see him just like Keith Thurman. You know, y'all just gonna have to start all over. You know, we all know that you guys want to be where you once was and stuff like that, but you got to start all over, man. Like, people are trying to bust moves out here, and you can't just come back and then get up in people's faces and then think that everything is just gonna be all right. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you just gonna start all over, Jack. Like, let's keep it real. You gotta get your momentum back. You gotta get your fights back. You gotta show the fans that you not gonna get up in the ring again and get on this Udi in the crack.
He just did so much damage to his damn brand, man. So much damage, dog. Ugh. I mean, he didn't just get caught for a single.
Yeah, we're not talking about cheeseburgers here.
He had a whole line of cocktails in his system. I'm like, what the fuck, dog? Pac-Man ATL on deck. What's good with you? UK say Jay Dixon. I like what I see, to be honest. He's definitely got ability and power. Good mix. Dude's only young too. Hey, Tay say, why fight these guys when Anderson can fight Stephen Big Shot Shaw, who's in the top 15? Hey, we have to get a feeling for Big Shot, you know, get him on YouTube a lot more. You know what I'm saying? Because it don't seem like what we're doing here is not going to really matter unless we have enough channels pushing for a fight like that. You know what I'm saying? Because they're moving Jerry Anderson how they see fit. They have that man buckled in and they want to raise him up to maybe 15, 16 and 0. You know what I'm saying? If he feels like Shaw is a threat. All right. Appreciate you, bro.
Yep. All right.
All right, man.
Yep.
Shout out to Michael, Boxing Talk and more, man. Appreciate you pulling up, my dog. Fuck them big names, half of them old. Let the youngest face off. True enough. But we have to get more people familiarized with Shaw. We need more people familiarized with Shaw, because the more channels that's familiarized with this fighter, they'll start pushing for him to fight a name like Jared Anderson. You know, that's just how it goes. I can't respect that franchise belt because it's selective instead of it being pushed in every direction like they did with the super belt. Two different sanctioning bodies. I mean, you know, when it comes to the WBA and WBC, I get what you're saying, though. I totally get what you're saying about this franchise belt. But I've been saying for a while, since the inception, right, that Mauricio Suleiman is going to try his best to insert this belt in the homes of many boxing fans he possibly could. And the way he's going to do that is exactly what he's putting out here to the media. He's putting some bullshit out here to the media. He's elevating and identifying that Cambozo is the franchise champion, undisputed. And then he's totally goddamn just throwing dirt on Devin Haney's title. That's the absolute fucked up part about what Mauricio Sulaiman participation is in this whole ordeal. His whole position in this thing is not neutral. It's far from fucking neutral. It's extremely biased, and he doesn't give a fuck about it. So that's why he's putting mud and dirt and basically denouncing Devin Haney's title, which is a title that's been around the sport of boxing since the test of time, and also it's his fucking title, yo. It's his goddamn title. He created it. This shit has history. But like I was telling people, you have to understand that Lomachenko fought for the WBC title. Even though he asked for, he petitioned to be elevated, he fought. He was the WBC champion. So when you hear Cambosa's team saying the same thing I've been saying, they say we consider Cambosa's the undisputed titleist because Lomachenko did in fact have the WBC title. He was never defeated for that title. He vacated it. So transparently, people are just transferring that over. Like you transfer funds over. Teofimo, same way, boom. Then Cambosis. Now we at a point where we have the last man standing in Devin Haney. But now we have Mauricio Sulaiman acting like he an activist. He's out here sabotaging a championship device that he fucking created. It's sabotage, dog. It's lunacy any way you want to look at it. This man created this belt, but yet just for the dang Haney purposes, he want to act like it was a mistake. He didn't plan this out accordingly. He didn't think the belt, the franchise title, will blow up the way it is. So we're gonna name this the Pride Champion. Man, that shit right there, man, I don't know, man. It's that shit's a bit prejudiced to me, man. I'm serious. That shit's bullshit. Votes UK, yeah, he's skilled, and I like the skills, but I'm not on the age thing. He's a pro. It's on he and his team to get ready. In terms of the heavyweight, he's young, J8, but I totally get what you're saying. Shout out to Trick Noti on deck, man. What's good with you, Trick? WCS salute more, fam. And good afternoon. Salute to you, Trick. Appreciate you pulling up to the WCS chat, man. No, people only talk about people with names. Why? Because they pretend to be boxing fans, but true boxing heads know exactly who he is. Okay. I need to do more research on him then, but when it comes down to us not knowing who he is, if we don't know who he is, it truly don't matter because we're not the ones that has to do any type of paperwork or any type of negotiation to get him into the mix for a name like Jared Anderson. Jared Anderson's fighting on television. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of boxers that's respected to the hardcore fight fans, but also we see Jared Anderson fighting on televised bouts. His popularity is going to be much more than a fighter like Shaw, who haven't quite crossed over to that notoriety yet. That's all I'm saying. Yeah, we know a lot of fighters that's on the mid tier, but Jared Anderson is like one of those fighters who's fighting on TV all the time. He's signed to top ranked promotion. His appraising value continues to elevate. D-Ray, what's good? D-Ray on deck. How you feel, bro? Pac-Man, how does boxing pull it from the Olympics since 2020 in the 2028 affect the future of amateur system in America? I'm glad you mentioned that. Hold on for a second. What's good, Bruce? My people. Hold on for a second. Let me answer this last question. Hey, I'm gonna jump back on a little bit later, bro. UK asked a very good question, which haven't been talked about that much. As long as boxing been in existence, right? And we've seen fighters, I mean, that went on to achieve greatness, bro, be screwed over in the Olympics. Now in 2028, they're talking about emancipating all that shit. They're talking about severing all ties with having boxing competing in the Olympics, man. You know how many boxers are in the gyms right now training to someday be an Olympian? But now, like I've been telling people, that MMA was on the rise to be considered as a combat sport competing in the Olympics. It is now, it is here. It has been ongoing for quite some time. If you didn't look at me way back in the day, I was actually, having interviews with some of those people that was competing nationally just for this moment. And I even said it. I say, man, with MMA coming in there, I just don't know how they're going to coexist. But now they're talking about removing boxing, man, doing away with it in 2028. That's crazy, bro. That's wild. But check this out, man. I'll be on a little bit later. I definitely have to take care of some stuff being, it's I got to take care of some tasks right now. I got to check some things. But we're going to continue this conversation later on the day, man. And I'm going to drop the link on there for people to give me their opinion on the open topics. I'm not going to come in here with any specific topics, just to hear, like, UK mentioned and several other people mentioned, some open topics about what's going on. I definitely want to touch on the possibility of Gary Russell Jr. moving up to fight Gervonta Davis. Will it happen? You know what I'm saying? What's next for the 140-pound division? We have some names up there that people don't even mention too much of, especially in the 47-pound division too, the welterweights. But man, y'all hold it down, man. I'll be back on here a little bit later. Appreciate y'all pulling up. Salute. Turn up and tune in World Combat Sports, man.